How to know your enemies from your allies is one of the greatest mysteries that we all face because we can all look back on times in our lives when we trusted people that shouldn't have been trusted and possibly distrusted people who had proven themselves to be trustworthy. So, this begs the question, why is it so hard to differentiate between the two? It's because you don't understand that people who hate blessings hate all blessings, not just yours. They hate their own blessings. They hate what blessings stand for. And so, even when they have things that appear to be blessings, they don't know what to do with them. They become someone who, if you didn't know them, you would believe they didn't have any blessings. They were struggling. Have you ever been around people who they seem to be good people? They hit a little bit of good luck or get a little bit of financial increase, and suddenly they become animalistic. You don't even know the person anymore. Keyword anymore. You never knew the person. See, what you got to understand is this: most people are enemies of your success. They're in any little bit of success. Your confidence in your propensity or the possibility of having success in your life, they're enemies of it. Because deep down inside, cutthroat people know that eventually you're going to find out who they are and you're going to cut them off at that point. But if they keep you on the level they're on, the cutoff game doesn't work. The cutoff game only works when you're in a position to elevate, even if it's just elevating to a position of peace. Your enemies are your allies until you differentiate yourself from them. When you become what they know they'll never be, that's when they show themselves to be your enemy. So I would say to you, I don't trust anyone who either has an obvious ulterior motive or who has a reason to have an ulterior motive. Why do you think rich people don't hang around poor people? It's not because poor people are bad, it's because poor people are poor. They view finances, success, wealth, and everything from a different perspective. They're looking at what they can get. And if you already have things, you can't be around people who are constantly always just thinking about what they can get because you just can't trust what they'll do at any given opportunity. Something as simple as you dropping your wallet or dropping $100 out your pocket. There's certain people who already know in their mind that if you drop $100 out of your pocket, they're not even going to even attempt to help you retrieve it. They're going to walk over and put their foot on top of it. And they'll stand in that spot like they got crazy glue on their shoe until they have an opportunity to retrieve it. There are other people who, before it hits the ground, they're already calling your name. Hey, you got money falling out of your pocket. But you never know who's who until the situation occurs. Some of these people seemingly are righteous people, church going people, God fearing people. But these people will use the word of God as a weapon to bludgeon your spirit into doing what they want you to do. And if you're a good person at heart, if your spirit is good, it's easy. You're easy pickings for a person who wants to do that. Now think about the ill will of a person who will use the word of God, the name of God, when their intent is to drain you of everything. It just goes to show how difficult it is to tell your friend from your foes. Think about the time that you grew up with someone 20, 30, 40 years later, you realize this person was a fool. And what it does, it makes you doubt yourself because how were you allowed how did you allow yourself to be aligned to this person for all of this time without even knowing? I'm not talking about somebody you saw in past. I'm talking about this was your partner. These were your people right here. You would vouch for them. And then you come to find that they've been mistreating their family all these years. Come to find that they've been mistreating other people. You come to find that they've been mistreating children. You come to find that they've been doing all type of unscrupulous things. And you ask yourself, what kind of judge of you, what kind of judge of character are you, should I say? We have to hold ourselves accountable when we allow these type of people into our lives. It's partially your fault. And the older you are, the more your fault it is. If you end up in prison because you let a criminal into your life, then you should be in prison. That's just how it is. You had discernment. You have wisdom, understanding, knowledge. You know better. Anyone trying to hold you to your past is an enemy of your success. Anyone who wants you to be who you used to be when we know you don't grow backwards is an enemy of your success. They hate your growth. They don't miss you. They don't miss you being who you were. They hate your growth. Your growth points out to them that they haven't done the things they need to do in their lives. And we're from the same environment, and I excel and you don't. Every time you see me, you're reminded of your mental incapacity, of your lack of intuition, your lack of drive, your lack of motivation, your lack of determination. Hell, you probably don't even have any goals. And the fact that you haven't even set goals is going to make you very angry with someone who has not only set them, but set out to attain them and is starting to show the benefit of attaining some goals. If you're a driven person, you must be around driven people. If you're a motivated person, you must be around motivated people. Stop trying to be to other people what you can only afford to be to yourself. It takes a high level of success before you can try to motivate other people. Motivate them to do what? You have to show a result. So most people should just be motivating themselves instead of trying to be a motivator to other people. You don't even have your own stuff where it's supposed to be. The first form of motivation is self motivation. People who are successful will tell you all the time, I help those who help themselves. I'm not giving anybody anything. I give you information and I give you a helping hand with what you're trying to do. But as far as me saying, hey, there's an open spot up here right by me. Here's a ladder. Climb on up. Nobody's going to do that. And everybody knows that. So you have to not allow yourself to be in a situation where you're trying to extend that ladder down to people to get them to the level where you are, unless you're at the final level you want to be in life. Otherwise, all the time you waste trying to wait for someone to get up to your level, you're not progressing. You're regressing because I can promise you, if you're on level 5 and they're on level 2, they're not going to come up to level 5. They might make the level 4. You got to go down level 4 and pull them back up to level 5 with you. Why would you do such a thing? Because now you brought a person up who has no motivation, no goals, no, not, they're not, they don't even believe they deserve to be on the level you're on. But nobody's going to turn down a free trip to get there. Growth is about learning your right and wrong outlooks. What are the things you looked at in life that have just proven to be wrong? It doesn't work. You've never seen it work. You've heard people talk about it. And even if you have seen it work, you've implemented it in your life for years. It's not worked. That means it's not going to work. That means you need to try something else. I implore you all, and be honest with yourself. If you look at your life right now and you're not where you want to be in life, then you might as well accept the fact that almost everything you've done is wrong. Almost everything. Because if all you have to do is figure the right steps, if you make the right steps, every step is going to be a step in the right direction. But if you look and you're not, and the further you are from where you want to be at any particular time, now be realistic now. Don't be 20 and be like, man, I should be worth $10 million right now. Shut up. No, you shouldn't. Be realistic about the time it would have taken for you to get to the goals that you set for yourself. And if you haven't set any goals, just understand this. I've heard a man say, a very wealthy man, say that he couldn't even afford his own car in his name. He never had a car in his own name until he was 38 years old. Now, at 60, he's worth 9 figures. All you got to do is figure out where you need to be going. But you don't have time to help other people figure it out if you haven't figured it out. See, any miserable person must be avoided at all costs. If you're miserable, you deserve to be where you are because you haven't taken the steps necessary to get away from it. It's just that simple. I'm not saying you're going to go from where you are to the epitome of, no, I'm not saying that, but you don't have to be in a position of misery. It is about decision making. Forget people, because the same people you're making decisions for to not excel and not go where you want to go because you don't want to leave them behind, give them the opportunity you have. Give them the mindset you have and watch how far they leave you behind. And come around from time to time to rub in your face that they've excelled past you. It's kind of like the guy who, he's in the hood, he the plug, he end up, doing well, he move out the hood, but he always coming back in something brand new and shiny and flashy with big jewelry on. Eventually, somebody ain't gonna like it too well. And it's gonna be somebody that's at the bottom in the gutter. I'm not saying don't help people. I'm saying help them who help themselves. If you see somebody already in the direction they need a push, give them a push. They need a little boost, give them a little boost. Little assistance, give them a little assistance. But if it's somebody wilding in a quagmire of self-pity and all of the things that they don't want to do and they ain't gonna do this and they are all, hey man, leave them right where they are. Because the bottom line is, if someone doesn't understand, and this is for men and women, male and female, if you don't understand that to get the life you want, it's going to take everything that you have to give, then you don't deserve the life you want. And you'll grow old waiting for somebody to give it to you. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the thing about people like that, they, it's not even that they don't want you to be who you are. They just want to stunt your growth. They don't want you to grow to a point where they can't access you anymore. You can grow, but just don't grow to the point where I don't even know what the hell you are anymore. When you bring positive energy into people's lives, sometimes they don't know what to do with it. They just know it's positive. And they would rather destroy the positive energy you bring than to let it get away. It's almost like that spouse who says, "Well, if I can't have you, no one will." That's how those people are. If I can't have your positive energy around me, then sucker, no one will. I'd rather try to drain it out of you first. And people don't understand that misery has such an energy draining mechanism to it. Like, it, if you just simply have a conversation with someone that's miserable, you know what you are when you're done with that conversation? You may not be miserable, but you're a lot less happy. You have a lot less peace because misery is the opposite of peace. And so I don't care who you are or what you think. You cannot help people who are miserable. You cannot pull them out of that because when you're wallowing in misery, you don't want to come out of it. You want someone to come in it and experience it with you. It didn't say misery loves for somebody to pull it out. Misery loves company. People who are miserable want you to be miserable with them. They want you to go through it with them. But here's the thing: you go through something with someone, once they get out of it, they don't care that you went through it with them. The joy of being out of it makes it impossible to look at who went through it with you. They don't care. So be careful when you think you're doing a good thing, when you're taking on people's burdens. Be careful when you think that you're doing something godly and righteous, when you're allowing people's misery to infiltrate your life, to infiltrate your peace. You think God gave you peace so you give it away to somebody miserable? You pretty much telling God he made a mistake giving you peace. So when people do, like people who are inebriated, people who use substances, people who are not themselves, I don't deal with those kind of people. It doesn't matter how much money you have, how successful you are. None of these things matter. If you're inebriated, if you're allowing substances that control your being to be a part of who you are, then you're not happy. You're miserable. And I don't want to be around those type of people. That kind of success is not the success I want. And a lot of times people are in positions where they just want you to be their leader. They want you to lead them to where you are. Now, they don't know what to do. They don't know the first thing to do, but they want you to lead them there. But most people are too cocky, too pompous, too arrogant, too self centered to allow themselves to admit, I am a lowly person. I don't know what to do with my life. I am lost. It looks like you have at least figured out the direction. Please help me figure out my life. They would rather sit and act like they have their life figured out, but the results don't show it. They would rather sit and convince themselves that they got it under control when they have absolutely nothing under control. They would rather present this front to the world that their life is good when every night they're at home crying. We live in a society that tells people everyone should be successful right now. In reality, most people aren't. And the majority of people who aren't don't even know they aren't because they're so caught up in this mindset of proving to the world that they're in the position they want to be in that eventually they start to believe it. And what happens when you believe you're in the position you want to be in? You stop working to get in that position. So it makes you a slave to an ideal that doesn't really exist. And think about how impossible that is. Think about how impossible that life is for you to be a slave to accomplishing something that's impossible to accomplish. And you wake up one day and you're 60 years old and you realize that at 60, you got to get up every day and go work at McDonald's. So you got to go, do some menial labor that you can barely do. And you look back at your life. At that point, you suddenly wake up and realize that you never were where you wanted to be and you weren't even close. But guess what? At 60 is too late. I know I said earlier it's never too late. 60 is too late to start. They're gonna be honest with you. If you throw away your whole life until then, you kind of late. You might well just settle into it. Go on, figure out if you're gonna work at McDonald's or Crystals or Burger King or maybe they'll let you sweep up the lot at Chick-fil-A or I don't know, Chick-fil-A, tend to like young, pretty people, at least young people. I don't know. They might not do it for you. They might let you sweep the lot, or you might be able to go to Starbucks and dump the dumpsters. I don't know. My point is, if you don't want that life for yourself, then you got to get it together. And the first way to get it together is to stay away from people who hate blessings. Because I'm gonna tell you, God is not a fool. Those people who hate blessings, He ain't gonna bless you while they're around. You know why? Because they're gonna benefit off your blessings. These are the people you like for whatever reason. These are the people you have around you. God is gonna avoid you because you should be avoiding them. If God ain't coming around them and they're around you, guess who else He ain't coming around, fool? Listen, man, I will push somebody all the way to Alaska to make sure that they don't have access to me and they don't need it. Because no one's presence is so valuable that you need to offend the Most High to have this person in your life. And you'll know if you offended the Most High. You know why? Because things are going to change as you allow these people access to you. And on the flip side, things will never change if you don't separate from these people that you've had around you forever that don't deserve to be around. Let me tell you something. You can love your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. You can love your children. But your first love need to be to the Most High. And if they are living a life that is offensive to the Most High, I don't care nothing about them. My job is to make sure that my relationship with God is good. And if you live a certain lifestyle, it don't matter who you are. I'm cutting you loose, man. You got to go. You understand me? That's how you govern your life. You got to have the internal strength, the intestinal fortitude to govern your life in a way where you understand that people must be how you want them to be if they're going to be in your life. If they're not going to be that way, let them go live their own life. Here's the what I want you to remember. Just because you don't let them have access to your life don't mean you taking theirs. They still got a life to live. They're going to be good. You just going to be better. You got to think about this. People who are always supportive, even if you may not like the things that they tell you, they're speaking truth to you. Those are people that you cherish in your life because they don't come often. You lucky if you get one, just to be honest with you. They don't come out. You got to be blessed to have those type of people around you who genuinely want what's best for you. Now they ain't gonna give you the a life or no shit like that, but they want what's best for you. They want you to achieve everything you want to achieve to bring you joy. Those people are a prize from the Most High. They're a gift from God. But if you spend so much time around negative people, then any constructive criticism or anything like that, you automatically go to perceive it as negative and you group them in with everyone else. And that's how you end up losing access and losing connection to the right people. Because I'm going to be honest with you. All of us can talk tough all we want to. I'm good by myself. I'll just be by myself forever. Man, none of us just want to be by ourselves away from every single person on earth forever. It's dumb. We weren't put here when we were here, when Adam was here like that. God said, hey, wait a minute. The man ain't got nobody. Let's get him somebody. We were meant at least to be paired up in twos, at least to be paired up as a couple. We were at least meant to be that. So you have to understand that technically speaking, you're only allotted that one person. The only guarantee is that a man will have a helpmeet, that a man will have a mate that's suitable for him, like the rest of the animal. All these friends and family and all the other stuff, bro. All that stuff come and go. Because even when they come to your kids, man, your kid gonna grow up one day, and you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna prioritize their family over you. That's just how life goes. You don't raise a child to prioritize you over everybody else. You prioritize the child over everyone else, and then they go on to prioritize their child over everyone else. That's how this goes. But when you live a life and you let people drain you so much with everything that ever happens in your life, someone's draining you, someone's taking from you, someone's pulling from you and not pouring in, then you need to leech from everyone around you. That is why parents live vicariously through their children. Why? It's not living vicariously through their children, it's trying to use their child's energy. You want your child to become what you never became. And that can be avoided by making sure you don't just have people around you who are draining. You got one time for me to even think that your intent is to drain my energy. And I'm gonna put enough distance between us where you ain't gonna have the likelihood of doing it. Matter of fact, you ain't gonna have the possibility of doing it. Because if your energy is so low that you have to become a person that's constantly on the hunt to drain people's energy, you're kind of like not even a human. You're like some type of demonic entity. And I'm good. And you should be good too. Govern people by their interaction with you, not by what they've accomplished in their own life, or not by what they believe, or not by what they achieve, by their interaction with you, because that's all that matters. And when I say all, I mean all. So even when you get a little bit of success, then you run into the problem where you have to be able to discern who views you as a financial come up, and a lot of times it'd be family, it'd be the people closest to you. If you as a financial come up, and let me tell you something about family, man. Family don't pay loans back. Family don't get loans. You loan family some money, you gave it to them. They don't pay loans back. They also believe that because you're family, you're supposed to give them. I know so many people who attained a level of success, especially when they were younger, attained a level of success and hit rock bottom again because family just drained them. Just, 10,000 here, 5,000 there, 3,000 there, 8,000 here. Somebody need a rent paid. Somebody ain't got a car. Somebody need, some tuition paid for. Somebody on academic probation. Let me tell you something. If you on academic probation, that means you too dumb to keep your grades up, and so the people can pay for your education. Don't come to me. I'm not fit to pay for that. I'm not. I can't do it. I can't do it. But there are people who will, and I can't even say that at a point in life I wouldn't have. This isn't to tell you that I haven't done any of these things. I'm just trying to tell you the things that I've done and other people have done, and everyone that I know who've done it, it didn't work. It's not a positive thing. So beware of people who change their interaction with you after success. And that means both ways. If they didn't like you before and now all of a sudden they buddy, that's obvious. But if they did like you before and now suddenly they acting all shady, those are the ones you really have to look out for. I trust someone more who was didn't really rock with me, and then I get on and then they rock with me, because at least they could possibly look at it and say, "Oh man, I was wrong about this guy. This guy, he know his thing." And depending on how they come like, "Bro, can you give me this?" Nope. But they were like, "Bro, listen, man, I got this skill right here, man. It'll help you out do this right here." You never know. They may come like that. But somebody who was your partner, and now all of a sudden, yeah, man, I don't really mess with dude like that. Them the ones right there. And I want you to look at everything about that person and look at all the things you overlooked that made you think that person rock with you. And everything you learn, apply it to everyone in your life. I promise you, your circle is going to get smaller the more you do that, because you're going to recognize and understand that the only people who have value in your life are people who are willing to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. That's just it. No one else has value. And I literally mean no one. So outside of those people, the only people you need to be concerned for are the people you're responsible for. You know what I'm saying? You got some kids, you're responsible for them little ones. But everybody else, what you mean? Everything you do for people, you do it as a favor. It's a favor to them, not because you know them. It doesn't matter who it is. So I want you to stop believing that you were put here to be used by people. Stop believing that you were put here to share all of your blessings with the whole world. Stop believing you were put here to be somebody who can be a footstool for people. Your enemy is your footstool. So you mean tell me that you're their enemy, so you should be their footstool? If that's your mindset, then turn this off. Don't listen to this. This isn't for you. Anyone who doesn't cry tears of joy for you overcoming everything you've overcome secretly wishes life and the obstacles that you faced would have defeated you the same way those obstacles defeated them. And they will do everything in their power to affect you in some negative manner, even if it's just a negative word. There are some people who were told as a child by adults now that you will never be anything. And those are some of the most successful people you'll ever meet. King Ray Ray being one of those. People will say whatever they want to say. It's your job to make sure that everything they say is like a cartoon character talking. Because you don't know me and you can't slow me. Bottom line. Y'all put God first. Keep grinding and growing, my brothers. Peace.